Okay, I hope the glare is not too bad for you here. At least my looking through the camera seems like it's okay. So let's start at the top here. The Weathertop torch gets upgraded to Undersun. So the torch, as you recall, we had 2 charges of it, and I totally forgot that if you attack an enemy in your space, you can deplete it to add Pierce or Smite. I totally forgot about that. So now we have Stun, and it has 2 charges still, so it's really not that much of an upgrade, but it is a nice gentle reminder that I kept forgetting that I can use it to attack. So it's very good, can't complain. All right, and so then the next one is Toma Battle, which Gimli has. And you can see here, we deplete it to reveal 2 additional cards. If you're in a space with an enemy, you get an inspiration. That actually helped Gimli a ton. That's a pretty good item. I'm very happy with that one. And now we get to upgrade it, so let's see what it does. So when you scout, you may get 2 additional cards and prepare an additional card. Also, you get to prepare 2 now. Ooh. And then you also get an inspiration. So this lets you prepare twice. It has 1 less charge, though. Just to be mindful there, there's 1 less charge of it. This has 3 charges. Now it's down to 2. So that is a trade-off. Not perfectly better. All right, so that's it for the items. The pipe is still a 2. Everything else is upgraded level 3. Now, Aragorn's getting a huge upgrade. Elena's going to get to upgrade her harp, and then the ringmail. But nobody's weapons are being upgraded, except for Aragorn. So that part stinks, because the battle axe and the bow, I think, get pretty darn awesome at level 3. These 2 obviously had weapons upgraded. But the battle axe and the bow were the last upgrade last time, so not a surprise. So let's grab, these items are in a different pile. Okay, let's start with the Westmarch garb. So I can get Everbloom or Wanderer's Wish. Ooh. So Everbloom, Wanderer's Wish. Okay, I got those. So let's remind ourselves, the Westmarch garb is your limits are increased by 1, and you can prevent a face-down damage. Okay, so bear in mind, I just gave him this helmet that says if you would suffer any amount of damage, you can suffer it face down instead. So these 2 together, this will force it to be face down, and then this one will make it so you take 1 less overall damage. So the 2 together work very well. But that's the old garb. Here's the new ones. So the one on the right, Wanderer's Wish, you increase your fear limit by 1. Before you suffer face-down damage, you may prevent 2. After you explore a tile, you may spend an inspiration to scout 4. Okay, the preventing 2 damage is what I'm sort of going gaga over. The scout 4, it seems neat, but it's not that exciting. The fear threshold limit is increased by 1, but the damage is no longer. So that's a downgrade. Everbloom has the same upgrade. Your fear and damage limits are increased by 1. Before you suffer, you prevent 1. When damage or fear instruct you to discard inspiration or prepared cards, ignore the effect. So you can ignore face-up cards. This Everbloom is not helpful because since I have the helm, I can force everything to be face down, and then this can make it so I take 2 less damage. This here, this bottom, that only triggers whenever you actually encounter a face-up effect. So I think Everbloom is superiorly weak, well, inferior, let's put it that way. So we're gonna go with Wanderer's Wish. I think that's quite a good cloak. All right, so now the one I'm very excited about, his sword. It can be upgraded to, well, there's two swords here. Sun Silver and Fate Bender. Okay, so his old sword, just a 5 and 3, and then after you defeat an enemy, you can get rid of a face down something. Okay, this one lets him use his wisdom attribute. And just so you understand, he's only been drawing 3 cards when he attacks, because his might's only 3. And then his wisdom is actually 4, so he'd actually get to draw extra cards if he's attacking with this Fate Bender. And you can see it's 5, 2, and 2 with Smite. So he's going to be really good against whites. Here it's 6 and 3 and Pierce. So he'll be able to ignore armor. And it says, when used to attack, reveal an additional card. So this is interesting, because if you reveal an additional card, that means that the wisdom thing over here is not as powerful, right? Because you're going to draw 4 cards anyways on the leftmost one. This would actually be awesome if you were Gimli, because then you get to draw 5. But it's 9 damage and Pierce. This is 5, 6, 7. This is 9 damage and Smite, which, you know, we don't run into whites that often, but when we do, it's really difficult because Elena is the only one that seems to have anything against it. When used to attack while you have 3 or more damage, you get to add stun. So if you are damaged, you get to add stun. This is an interesting one. His damage threshold's only 5. It's not like it's that good. Fate Bender, huh? Which one's better, folks? I think being able to just add Pierce, get to do a whole success just to add Pierce, is not good. Here you can do 7 hits if you need to, and then you can add Smite. I don't know. I sort of like this one more because the Wisdom or the Might gives you some flexibility, because now we can have the Wisdom and the Might basic card prepared, and then just, because you can choose to attack with Might on one turn and choose to attack with Wisdom on another. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the Fate Bender. This is actually closer than I thought it was going to be in terms of decision making, but we're going to do that. The healing powers is gone, and that's a little bit unfortunate. All right, so now we have the banner is upgrading, and there's 2 possible banners. Okay, so the old one was, if you rest, guard, or hide, you gain, a nearby hero gains an inspiration. Okay, here's the 2 new ones. This one is, after you or a nearby hero rest, guards, or hides, you get an inspiration, same as before. After you discard a prepared tactic card, you or a nearby hero may discard 1 face down, so you heal 1. Okay, that's interesting, but it's only if you do a tactic card. You know how many times I'm going to forget this? All the time. Now, this leftmost one is interesting. It gives you cleave and adds 2 hits, but it's only if you have a might weapon or a wit weapon. So, if I choose to use my wisdom to attack, then I can't use this. This is only when I use my might. So I actually probably would have been better off with the other sword. The cleave is awesome, and then of course the 2 extra hits is nice. After you or a nearby hero rests, guards, or hides, so it's the same thing. It's just that it adds 2 more possible things, so you can add a cleave or 2 hits. I'm going to go with the one on the right. This is a hard one too, but I'm going to go with the one on the right. So we're going to go with Warhaven. I like the healing ability. Since I lost it on my sword, I now gained it with the banner. Now, granted, I have to discard a tactic, but that actually might be more easy to do. Okay, so now we're going to do the harp. The harp is, at the start of your turn, somebody gains an inspiration, And if somebody were to gain one, they may discard a face down fear instead. We never use that, by the way. So this set of harp, the one on the left uses spirit. Okay, so there's a problem with that. So you can stun or gain an inspiration. It's a spirit attack. The dagger is not a spirit attack, folks. You can't do daggers for spirit attacks. So there is an axe that does spirit attacks. I'm looking for the staff. The staff is an agility or wisdom attack. It's not spirit. So what's interesting is, so if you do an attack, you're going to have to declare you're going to do a spirit attack. So you're not using your dagger anymore. You can use this. You draw 4 cards because her spirit is really high. And all she's going to do is either stun or gain inspiration. It's a really weird thing. So you're not trying to kill the enemy. You're just trying to stun it so it doesn't attack you back. Although the good thing, though, is if you stun it, then you can move away. So it's a nice way to run away, right? Because if you stun an enemy, then you don't have to provoke it. It can't be provoked anymore. Oh, that's actually sort of neat. And then here, 2 heroes in your space who have 0 inspiration gain 1, but it's in your space. It's no longer nearby. Okay, so that's an interesting one. Here, it's still a hero in your space who has 0 gains 1. Wasn't the other one nearby? Nope, it was always in your space. So I'm sorry, misunderstood that one. Here in your space that would gain an inspiration, they may discard. Okay, so this is both. You gain an inspiration and you can heal. I sort of like this one better. The stun. I mean, it's just a nice way to escape. You don't have to use it, right? Just the stuff down below there is better. I'd rather give 2 heroes an inspiration. I don't care about the healing. Yeah, so I'm going to take that one. It's called River Calling. And the ringmail is upgrading. Oh, there's 2 choices. The ringmail has been basically, here's what it was. So your agility goes down, your fear limit goes up by 1, and then basically if you're negating damage, only negating damage, not regular tests, you get to use your might skill instead, which for Gimli was a good deal. So here we go. Starting on the right, Wrath's End. The same. This one's better. And that's the same. So all you're getting with this one is your damage limit goes up by 1. The one on the left, oh no, actually this one increases your spirit by 1. I'm sorry. This one is new. Increases your spirit by 1. Interesting. There's an axe that goes with that. There is an axe, folks. I saw it. I have an axe to grind. There's the bow. Here we go. So you got this grief bearer, right? That adds lethal and does all kinds of massive damage, but it's might. See that? There's this honor knell that uses might or spirit, and it does cleave and sunder, and then 8 hits, and increase your inspiration limit by 2, which is also pretty awesome because Gimli can only have 5 or 3 right now. But see this? He can use his spirit to attack. So if you have this, your spirit goes up to 5. He's now drawing 5 cards for this particular weapon. He doesn't have it yet. It's just a future upgrade he could get. But that's where that becomes interesting. So here, all damage gets suffered face down, so you never have to deal with the face-up damage. I'm not worried about it because since he's a guardian, Everything else seems to be exactly the same. The only difference, this one gives you face down damage, this one gives you an increased spirit. Wrath's End for the win every day and twice on Sundays. I think if I can ever get that level 3 axe, that is an awesome combo. I mean, I'm so excited. I'm going to be really disappointed if I can never get this axe. So Wrath's End, for sure. And now his spirit is actually 5, which is, I mean, that's going to help him for fear checks and all that stuff as well. I mean, it helps him in more places than just an axe that he doesn't yet have. So now, what does he need to get there? As you can see, maybe you can't because the camera's angled. We have 64 lore right now. This axe needs 71. That's how close we were. If we would have won any of those 2 missions previously, I think we'd have it by now. And then look at this. This bow needed 67. So we could have had level 3 weapons. And we didn't. I have a feeling we're going to do... So this next mission is an adventure mission. So we're going to do an adventure mission, figure out who it was that pulled us out of the water, right? Get their help. And then there's going to be a battle mission. So I think there is going to be one more final mission. And we really will get our level 3 gear. This Tuckborough cloak, by the way, let me check that. That needs 65. We were 1 point away. And then the Fangorn needed 65. We were 1 point away for that as well. So 1 point away for those. And then the pipe. This pipe right here needed 65. We were 1 point away from that. So that's crazy. So I think theoretically by this point, if you didn't fail as often as I did, you really could have everything upgraded by now. So it's unfortunate for me, but I don't know what to do about all this experience, folks. If I ever played as a different role, by the way, it would show it along with its experience level, and then you have to like take out cards. I don't really want to take the crappier cards. I think the skill deck for the classes could really use some improvement. I'm not a big fan of that part of this game. I think making the skill part of the successes and failures is, I don't know, it was a poor choice in my mind. I mean, it's a neat idea, but I think in practicality it didn't play out well. Okay, we are moving on. And just so you understand, I prepared all of the decks with 3 weaknesses in them because I'm convinced that that's the only way they increase the difficulty in this game. So they already have 3 weaknesses shuffled in. So hopefully I saved myself an extra shuffle. If by some miracle we don't get 3 weaknesses, then the very first one I draw, we're going to ignore it and keep going. Okay? That's the rules, and we're going to go with it. All right, so I'm going to keep this. I think the Pathfinder. Okay, now that we've played this game enough, here's a level 12 Pathfinder. After you sprint, you may move an additional space. Okay, that's only helpful if you actually do sprint. But see, that actually stays active the whole game. So that's good. Your skills with sprint have strike 2 and hide. Also good. When you test, you may add 1 success for each skill with sprint you have prepared, and then discard the skill. Okay, so that's an interesting one. It's a one-time use. Not that great. When you sprint with this skill, choose to become determined and gain 1 inspiration. Okay, so that, see where this says after you sprint, you may move an additional space? That's where some of these other ones may be helpful. I don't know. They're not that great. These ones are just strike. You know, they add strike. There's an aid. When you or a nearby hero tests agility, you may discard this to add 1. See, there's not even that many that have sprint written on them. So why would that skill that says after you sprint? So... Okay, Baravor actually has a guard ability. That's pretty interesting. Here we go, Ways of the Old. So there's a sprint one with a success. And there's a sprint one. So you would have to, yeah, the Pathfinder's not that great. I think Barrowvore is just nicer than Bilbo, for example, or Elena, but it's not that great. Okay, let's move on. Oh, look at this. Each hero shuffles one additional weakness into their deck. Oh, color me shocked. Okay, 101B. I have a feeling I'm not going to finish this tonight. I really should have just tanked that last mission so this would be done. Okay, so there we go. All right, everybody is starting there, and then we all get to scout 3. Okay, there's a woman clad in blue as deep as the lake with long dark hair. She's moving away from us, and we attempt to call out to her, but we're coughing up water instead. Okay, so scout 3. Let's start with Aragorn. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a great one to equip right away. Undying Might. And yeah, those two will go on top. Gimli. It's not super fantastic, but Poet's Heart is nice to get out of his deck, right? It's nice to get those out of the deck. And the Final Defense is interesting, but we don't need it right now. And then the Fury is going to go to the bottom of the deck. Okay, Legolas. So here we got, I'll take Tireless, and then we'll put the weakness on the bottom. Okay, Bilbo. 1, 2, 3. Interesting. I will take Dwarf Friend. During your turn, for you and another dwarf to become emboldened. Okay, that only works when you're fighting. Ugh, that might be a bad one to hold on to. But I can get rid of it, so meaning it's out of my deck, because it's not that great. Yeah, and then these two are going to go to the bottom. I like my bamboo table, but this is a pretty nice player mat. I know they came out with one for Lord of the Rings, but I'm very happy with this. It's a nice quality, and it feels great, and the cards move nicely on them. If you don't have a good table surface, I think that it's a really nice option. And like you can throw it over any kitchen table or whatever, even like a workbench, and it all of a sudden converts it into a really nice gaming table. So I'm not doing a plug for FFG for certain, but I do enjoy it. The thing is it costs probably around 40 bucks. It's pretty pricey for a mouse pad that's a little oversized, but it is nice. Okay, Elena, for whatever reason, her cards were not shuffled. So I had to shuffle those, and this is a no-brainer. I'm putting that one in, and then these two, kind of usual suspect. Okay, so we're done with our scout. All right, more stuff is coming. So it's telling us to do that. All the fog, by the way, is going that way. And this is unexplored. All right, more stuff. More stuff. Okay, so it's saying all right, and then those of course are also unexplored. Okay. When you look again, the woman is gone as if she were never there. There are legends you remember around this lake, legends of a powerful creature that sings along its shores. Such an ally would be valuable. If you could locate her again, perhaps someone in the nearby town of Selby would know more. Investigate Selby for more information. Your body is bruised and your clothes drenched and cold from your ordeal. Though you need to rest, you may never find the woman again if you lose track of her now. You must push yourself through exhaustion no matter the consequence. At the end of each round during this adventure, threat will increase by an additional 4. Thanks. Thanks, guys. All right, so where's Selby? It didn't say. Okay, well, I think I'm going to have to end the video here. It wasn't my intention, but I just realized I have to be a parent and quit letting my kids run with scissors, and it's time to make dinner. So I will leave us here, and then we will start our turn when I get back. Thanks for watching. Stay awesome.